underscore. Let's see. Okay. I count myself in. My coffee in here, please. I need my palate going. Okay. 3, 2. Hello and welcome to another edition of IIABCal Voices. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. For about 10, 11 years, I was in the insurance industry and I got to meet all kinds of people, but this is a first for me since I left 12 years ago. Now I'm back doing these interviews for IIABCal and I love them. I get to see my old friends, and one of my old friends introduced me to someone new. I have a new friend. And for me personally, he is the first Black African-American insurance man that I've met in this business. And this is crazy. I've been in this business like off and on for 20 years. He's the first one. So let me tell you some of his, he was a star at USC. So let me tell you some of his credentials over there. He got a BA, of course, in economics. He also is on the Dean's list. He also was on the USC varsity baseball team, College World Series of Baseball, a Student Athlete Academic Achievement Award, 4-time ADP Sales MVP. He does Big Brothers Big Sisters. He's at a company that I've known Rob Greenspan like 1,000 years. So I get to talk to his director of business development, and he's my new friend, Mr. Mark Todd. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you, James. Thanks for having me. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. I'm honored and excited to be here with you.
Yeah, for me to see another brown face makes me happy. I don't get to see that. I didn't see that many in the business, and I'm glad to know that they are out there with everybody else. And so I'm very happy to see a face that looks similar. Well, you don't look alike at all, but similar to mine. Like a similar. Right. You can be part of my family, I'm sure, somewhere in there.
Right.
Related. But I want to ask you. So I mean, so when it comes to this insurance business, and as a Black man in the business, what has because you've been in business, 10 years now, 12 years?
Yeah, about 12 years.
So what has your overall experience been like for you?
I mean, wow. I mean, I've been in so many different facets of the business. From being I was a producer, worked my way over, did premium financing, and now I'm on the claim side. And as an African American, it's been good. I would say it's been good. I've always embraced the fact that looking different is an opportunity to educate others that don't look like you, and to kind of debunk some of the stereotypes that are out there. And so I've always looked at it as an opportunity. Even on the baseball team at USC, I think I was the only African American for the last three seasons. Yeah, yeah. The one other African American, he quit and left me by myself. So but it's been great, and I've met just so many great people, and just really, like I said, I just have had the attitude to embrace my differences and to just be there to kind of share and educate, and I've kept that mentality, and it's just been a great ride so far.
I'm the same way. So I'm very similar to you. I didn't let it hinder me. I didn't let it stop me. I didn't let being African American, scare me. I just was myself. And I went out there. I knew that there may be situations where I was the only Black person in the room. I was one of the few people of color in the room, or at a company, or at a function, or at a conference. I didn't let it stop me. And like you said, it was an opportunity for people to learn that there's a lot of sameness. We have a lot of sameness. When it comes to business. I mean, it's like we all want to make money. We want to be of service. You're right, Mark. That's what we want to do.
This is correct. This is correct. Yeah. I mean, we all, and I learned in insurance, you're there, you want to help people. You want to help resolve problems and help people protect their assets.
Yes.
And that's a human necessity, solving problems. I mean, everybody has issues in business. And so it doesn't really matter what color you are, as long as you're there to fulfill the needs. And so, like I said, I've just had that mindset, and it's really been good and beneficial. So
Yeah, I like that. Do you have any African American clients?
Yes, actually we do at Greenspan. We've got a big low income housing provider that they develop Section 8 housing throughout Los Angeles and San Diego. And so we're their go-to when it comes to their insurance claims.
Okay.
And so, and that, the gentleman that owns the company, African American, of course, and it was me that made that connection to kind of get in and talk to them about our service and what we do. And, and that's been good. But, but again, we service pretty much all different groups, all different backgrounds. There's obviously no discrimination.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So.
I would ask you, so how do we get more Blacks in the business? Well, I mean, what is one thing you think we can do for perpetuation and to add more diversity? Because I talked to other people about this. I've had Latina on here, I've had Asian on here, and it seems pretty similar. I guess we have to reach out to that community, those communities. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it starts with education. A lot of folks, especially in the African American community, you think of insurance and there's negative connotations. You think, oh, wow, I'm not about to be peddling any, auto insurance. I'm not, and you hear these commercials on the radio. They're talking about, oh, you're paying $15 for insurance. You're spending too much money. And so they've come out, they've cheapened the business, but that's what the mass marketing is doing. And so I think that the first thing is to get into you got to hit them in high school, I think, and go into those schools and talk to them about this industry, because not only is the industry great in terms of, financial security, but also it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of great people and all of the different opportunities that exist within the insurance industry. I mean, it's endless. It's endless. And so I think that that's the first thing, is to kind of get in those schools in those inner cities where there's a large African-American student body, and just educate them and tell them, hey, look, I started off in a similar circumstance as you. I went from the inner city and I found this industry. I fell into it. And you know what? I'm here. I've had success. I've been in it for 12 years, and I've managed to kind of move up the ladder, so to speak. And so if I can do it, so can you.
How'd you fall into it? How'd you fall into this business?
Oh man,
I fell into it too. I tripped and fell, and then here I
was. Right.
Yes.
Well, I mean, so I was selling. I was at ADP payroll sales selling.
We know them.
Selling
know them.
Yep, everybody knows ADP, and I know a lot of brokers. I'm like, ADP.
I know ADP. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was at ADP, and this was, and I don't want to date myself, but this was right around, it was there 06 to 08, and of course everyone knows what was happening in 08. I was selling payroll. Yeah, I was selling payroll services to small businesses. And it's so funny because if anybody knows ADP, especially the small business, you're expected to bring in at least 2 deals per week. And, and what they do, it's like boiler room, like put you on Front Street. And so they've got everybody's name on the board. And you've got all the regional managers there, and they call it roll call. So you're there, and you're saying what your numbers were for that week. So you have to name out, how many appointments you had, how many units you sold, and how many dollars it's worth. And I was always the very last person that would say the number. So it was like the lasting thing that everybody would remember, because I was the last person. The last name was Todd. Okay. So then what happened was I went about, I think I went like 4 weeks. 4 appointments, $0, 0 units, 4 weeks. Oh, wow. So my boss, And mind you, this is during the time that all the, everything was, small businesses were closing their doors and laying
That
people
shit was
off.
happening. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, so he calls me in. He says, "Hey, Mark, you know what, man? Are you out there looking for a job? What are you doing?" And I said, "Man, you know what? I'm busting my hump. I'm doing cold calls.
Yeah.
I'm door knocking. I'm doing everything I can." He's like, "Well, you know what? You need to start." Because he's like, because I don't know how much longer I can keep corporate off of your back. I'm doing this because I like you. You've been here for a long time. And you know what? You should start looking. And so that was when I said, okay, I need to start looking. So I talked to recruiters, and I was interviewing for everything from selling meat companies with a meat truck to selling TomTom navigation devices.
I remember those. Yeah, I remember those. Oh
yeah,
I remember those.
Yeah. Inside the store, I'd have been the rep and say, "Hey, let me show you this."
That's right.
device.
I remember that. Yeah.
So the recruiter, she told me about an insurance opportunity, and so I said, this sounds interesting. And the thing that stuck out with me was, she said, imagine, she says, you're at ADP. You have to sell new deals every week, new deals. Imagine if you were able to go back and get residual income off of the deals that you sold. So I said, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And she says, so, if you were selling insurance, he's like, it's really no different. It's just a different product, different product, but ultimately you'd be able to go back to those clients and establish and build a book of business. So that always sounded like, wow, that would be great to have a new book of business, and to be able to not necessarily feel like I'm working as hard every year, like as if I'm starting from scratch. But that's what it was in my, in my experience. And so an opportunity had presented itself with a large publicly traded insurance brokerage. Some folks that know me, they know where I was, but and so I took it, and it was a great move for me. It was really the most difficult job I've ever had, but at the same time, I got licensed through there. I got I went through training, started understanding all the different coverages, et cetera. And so it was a great just a great introduction. Like I said, I fell into it because of the economy. It crashed, and hey, like they say, insurance is they call it the necessary evil. Like my first prospect meeting, that's what she said. You're the necessary evil. That's the only reason why we're meeting with you. So
why, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm glad to be here. No, it's funny because I left the insurance business during that same period. So you came in when I left. So I left the insurance business during the recession.
Mm-hmm.
And people thought it was crazy. They're like, you want to be an entrepreneur on your own in 2008, 2009? What? I am crazy. I'm doing going for it all. But the thing is, when you said something you mentioned that's really interesting, sales is sales, and sales is sales. If you probably could have went to that meat company and sold some meat. You could have went over here and something. I think it's really funny. Some of these skills are transferable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big thing. Is that I tell people all the time. A lot of us come from other industries when you get into insurance, but a lot of those life skills and work skills can apply to the insurance industry and be very useful. Have you found that true?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I will say this, and when you were talking, a thought came into my head now, and I'll kind of tell you a little story, but keep it really brief. But we, as a kid playing Little League baseball, we'd have to, you have your fundraisers, so we'd have to sell candy bars. And,
oh yes,
yeah,
I did that too.
Listen, door to door. Would you like to buy a candy bar? So my best friend Mikey and I would, we'd go door knocking. And what I would do is I would be there. I'd have the guts to knock at the door, but then I'd go hide and let him ask, because I was so shy and just terrified of being of just, I guess, the rejection. Maybe, I don't know what it was, but like I never felt comfortable with with just being there and asking someone for something, and just being in front of strangers, really. And so so you fast forward, sales always had again negative connotation, right? It's like, oh, you're doing sales, oh, you just want to make commission off of me, and
right.
you're not here for me. But when I was at USC, my economics class, I remember there was one day where my instructor, he says, well, what sales is, all you're doing is presenting information, really. I mean, you're just informing someone about something. So I said, that's a different way of looking at it. It's like, I feel good about informing somebody about something I have that could benefit them. And then you fast forward, when I was at ADP, they said what sales is it's a transfer of enthusiasm. So something I'm enthusiastic about, I'm going to present it to you.
Yes.
And hopefully you're enthusiastic about it as well. So those things, it was like just a gradual process. And so now I'm like, okay, well, now I look at sales as, okay, we're problem solvers. We want to uncover needs, and then we want to present solutions to solve those needs. And hopefully in the end, down the road, you'll refer me because I helped you out. And I think that's really the most rewarding and gratifying part about sales, is that, you help someone out and they trust you enough to refer people to you. And so that's always been something I've enjoyed.
So at Greenspan, you're the director of business development. What do you do? What is your
job? So my job essentially is to really interface with the broker community primarily, and to just kind of educate them on our service, but also educate them on claims. And it's funny because, I think about Greenspan, and I've always said this, I've had my broker hat on the whole time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of brokers, there's so many misconceptions about what we do, that and I see why. I see why, because a lot of these adjusters will get in there, and it could be an independent adjuster or other public adjuster. They go in there, and then they have the policy, and then they go and they tear it apart and say, oh, well, if you'd have bought this coverage, and if you would have done this, your broker did you wrong. You're gonna have to, your broker made a mistake, and that kind of thing. And it's like, and as a broker, that's the worst thing. You don't want that. But you don't have any control either over that part, over the claims handling aspect. There's not much control. Once the claim happens, then you get it. And they have an independent adjuster and all this different stuff. So we go in, Rob and I help set up the continuing education classes, and he does the magic. And
I used to do that stuff. God, I remember those days. All the CE, trust me, I was buried in CE papers. I did it for like 11 years, so I know. Insurance.
Yep. Yeah. He's still doing it. Doing it.
Yes.
Yep. But so interfacing with the agent broker community, but also just different industry groups. We do a lot with the entertainment industry.
Of course.
We do a lot with the we're working on the property management industry.
Yeah.
And just really it's this is a service that is it's a niche within a niche, and a lot of people don't really understand it. They don't understand how it can benefit their client, and how this service, because as a broker, you want to be a resource for your client. So you have to have all these different solutions ready to go in your toolbox. And I look at Greenspan as a solution or a tool for brokers to come to and help to help resolve their clients' claim issues. So
I've never asked this question. I'm gonna ask you a question I've never asked anybody else. It just came to me for the LA area. LA is changing. All of LA is changing, not just certain they might think about like the Inglewood where I live is changing, but no, all of LA is changing. I would say LA proper, LA County, that counts the Valley, it counts Inland Empire, it counts Orange. I mean, it's changing. So are you guys feeling that change at Greenspan? Are you having like more business, harder to get business, easier to get what kind of are you feeling the change? Because I know I see construction everywhere and job listings everywhere and all this. And I know COVID's that's a whole other story, but I'm just thinking in general, though, the last 3 or 4 years, we've had a lot of change in LA. Are you guys feeling it?
You know what? Yeah, we're feeling it. There's it seems like there's a lot like just a lot of claim activity out there.
Yeah, I think so,
A
right?
lot of movement, a lot of stuff. Like when, for example, when last May 2020, when the with the civil unrest and everything with protests, there was a lot of I mean, obviously a lot of claim activity. Everybody
Yeah,
you saw the
yeah,
the looting and everything like that. And so like, our as a it's like as a full community, there was the economy was kind of going down, there's all this stuff. But then for us, it's like these claims have to get handled. And and we got a lot of claim business from that. Pharmacies, a couple of marijuana dispensaries, which those seem to be the businesses that were hit the hardest. And of course retail, but
yeah,
there's just a lot. So that's just like one example. But then
yeah.
there's fires, and then you see we have a Northern California office that with the Dixie fire and everything that's going on. And so there's just a lot of activity. And then there's also water damage that happens with, pipes that aren't maintained properly and flex lines that aren't maintained properly. And there's all this stuff. And Greenspan's been around so long within the claim world that a lot of the businesses refer word of mouth.
Yeah.
There's so many different people who've gone through a claim and has had Greenspan, which Greenspan's been around, I think, 75 years. It's the 75th year. Family owned and has really serviced a lot of businesses, thousands and thousands of claims. And so we fortunately have managed to stay busy. And matter of fact, we hired a few new adjusters and having some gradual growth, which has been good.
So I could actually ask you this question because I haven't had a chance to do this. Anybody else on the show? We're workers. We're out there making our business, trying to make things happen. COVID happened last year, of course. That's, like I said, that's a whole other story about that. But you mentioned civil unrest happened also. So for us in Los Angeles, it did happen. It happened in other places too, around the country too, but in LA especially, there was happening affecting us. I know for me as a business person, because I'm in media, so I was trying to pick and choose who I talked to, a lot of stuff. So for you, how was it for you to just that intense time period as a Black man yourself, but then also as a businessman, insurance guy? I mean, what was it like?
Yeah. You know what? That was it was something I was always taught to not really see color. Like to just look at people and then get to know that individual, just like what Martin Luther King said. You judge somebody based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And so that was the way I was raised. And so that attitude made it where it made it a little bit easier to kind of go through. And of course we have our, you get your little racial jokes and stuff and all the stereotypes and things like that. But so when that happened, it hit me really hard. It hit me really hard. I was seeing the video and all that stuff. I mean, of course, it was just heart-wrenching and it really hurt. And then and I'm not gonna say it was just that, but of course it was a buildup. And I think the George Floyd thing, because there was a buildup over the years and with cameras, this has been going on for such a long time. And now, but it's just now they're filming it. People see it. And so George Floyd was just, that was just the worst one, of course, the timing of it all and then the way it went down. But so what it did for me, it made me want to kind of take a deeper dive and learn more about bias, implicit bias. So I actually took a little online course on implicit bias, and there's actually a test that you could take. It's a Harvard test. If you just Google Harvard implicit bias test, it's like a 15-minute test. And this test, we all have them, is what I learned. We all have these little implicit biases, and they say that racism is like a gas. You don't see it, you don't feel it, but or bias is like a gas. You don't feel it, but it's there. So you could say something that's insensitive and not even realize it, but it's because of either one, you don't know anybody of that particular group. So now you're going based on a stereotype of, oh, they showed black guy that, on the news robbed somebody or whatever. Now you think, okay, well, that's what black people do. And now these police officers, they're in these neighborhoods and they're policing and they're scared. They're terrified because, they overreact. And so that's what I think it is. It's just, learning, and we have to take that time to really dive in to understand and really be humble. Because when I took the test, I was like, wait a minute now, hold on.
Right.
I was like, dang, I didn't know I was biased that way. And I'm not going to tell you what
exactly.
it was.
Right. No, exactly.
But you realize, and then you can, it's like, it's like, okay. So it's almost like I went in a circle. I said, man, let me learn about this. And then I said, okay, I got to come back and get back to trying not to stereotype and just really get to know someone as an individual, because we're, it's based on our experiences and not necessarily, oh, your color, so this is what. And I don't like assumptions, I'm sure you could relate. Like you're being the only African-American within the insurance industry for a while, in your experience. And then for me, being the only African-American that played baseball on USC's baseball team, went to the College World Series, all these things. So now if somebody comes to me and they throw me in a certain bucket, I'm gonna say, wait a minute, man, hold on. And again, it goes back to being able to educate people. It's like, no, and I've worked in different communities. I mean, when I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, worked in K-Town, opened up a brand new office in Koreatown. And guess what? I was marketing these Korean body shops.
There you go.
Going in, hey. And you know what? We had success. We were successful. The office still exists. That was over 10 years, 15 years. I don't even know. It was a long time ago.
I love it. I love it. And that's the deal, man. The deal is, again, we go back to there's a lot of sameness. We do have difference, and we do have cultural things, which should just be celebrated. Like, get to know me and see what's going on. And like you said, we walk through this business like, you're Mark Todd first, I'm James Lott Jr. first. That's who I am. Can I do the job that you need me to do? That should be your number one concern. Everything else is kind of, to me, saying when it comes to business, everything else is secondary. And when it comes to, can I help you? That's my number one concern. And don't put anything on me thinking I can't help you because of, just go, okay, can I help you? Let me show you. So I feel like you're the same way. Like, let me show you what Mark Todd can do. Like, well, this is not what I am, so to speak. I guess that's
right. Yes. Well, yeah. And I think too, it's attitude.
Yeah.
I think it's attitude. Of course, it's going to be challenging when you're the only person that looks how you look.
Yep.
But I've always been one to enjoy challenges. I think that if we weren't challenged, there would be no growth.
Oh,
and you know what? Honestly, it'd be kind of boring. Like it would be kind of boring. I've always got value out of cold calling, taking a number on a sheet. You cold call.
You like cold calling? That's the one thing I did like.
No, I don't like it. I hate it, but it's rewarding. It's the reward. So when you do get the appointment, you're like, yes.
That's true.
And then when you do get the deal, you're like, yes.
That's true.
And then you build that relationship. So it's like I said, it's so challenging and rewarding at the same time. And so I've always, just had that attitude. And that's the thing. It's about attitude. Now, if you don't have that attitude, if you think that, you know what, I don't have to work as hard. I don't have to, you take things for granted. Or if you don't have that work ethic, then you're gonna play the victim. And I just never, man, being a victim, I just never had that. And of course there's history, right? Like that. We've all learned there's a big push for reparations and this kind of thing. And so, and look, I agree. It's like, look, all this was done, all this free labor and whatnot. Yeah, there's something old, but I'm not going to sit up here
and wait for it.
And wait.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Wait, because.
No, same here.
Because, man, working in the, and again, I've enjoyed work. And I think that anything, nothing valuable comes easy. And I think if you're just given this meal ticket, it'll probably get squandered.
I agree.
You're probably gonna end up broke.
I agree. No, actually, I like earning my own money. I like earning my money. I like going out there. Like you said, there's nothing like, well, for me, well, some of it is clients, but for me, it's getting that interview, getting that get. I know what it feels like, because there's something about that. If anybody watching this thing about going in insurance, think about what he just said. It's like, getting that client and actually building from the ground up. There's something exciting about that. I mean, it's exciting, and it's like planting a seed and then then getting a plant. That's
there you go.
It all comes from something. I mean, it all comes from something. I think what you said, I like that, and you're right. There is an excitement, and you feel good. You feel good.
Yeah, it really does. And also too, I think when you're learning a lot of skills. Right? Like I remember going to these sales seminars and all these different things, talking about tonation, voice inflection.
Oh yeah.
How you all of those skills that you develop. And so that makes it even more rewarding, because it's like I related to being a baseball player. I was a pitcher, and a pitcher is a specialized position. You have to and there's a lot of different types of pitchers. There's finesse pitchers that they throw different pitches, curveball, slide or change, all these different things. And then you have power pitchers. There's all these different types of pitchers and different ways to be successful. And so, but you have to develop and find what the best way is for you, given your skill set. Not everybody throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, right? So you've got to be able to know, okay, well, if I top out at 89 miles an hour, well, I better have a changeup that I could throw for a strike any count. And it's no different in insurance or in sales, especially, because you develop your skill set. Okay, well, this person is a lot more seasoned than I am. They've been in the business for over 40 years. Well, what can I bring to the table that's different? And so, okay, well, I'm going to have to be more knowledgeable. So I better do my homework on that industry and find out, well, what are the issues? What are the concerns, and be able to, again, resolve those. And even though you may be a younger person, these are the things you have to do. It's like, you really got to work smart. And they say you got to be twice as good, right? So this is how you do it as you're building. And so I've always looked at it with that, through that lens. And like I said, it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, so changing gears completely. Who is your favorite singer?
Oh, of all time, or
could be a favorite singer these days, or somebody you listen to a lot.
Wow, let me see. It's funny, man, because I was just talking about this, how R&B and R&B. I love R&B music. R&B, though, it's kind of like not what it once was.
Oh, no, it's not. Just say it, Mark. It's not. It's not like
90s R&B was
the best.
The top of the ladder for me.
Yes.
There's so many.
Yeah, Boys to Men, Noticing.
You know what? I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go Mary J. Blige. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mary J. Blige. I just watched her documentary recently.
I heard it's good.
Phenomenal. Good. Yeah, it was really good. The best album, the My Life album.
Yes, good album.
That album was just phenomenal. I think she just poured her soul on that album. She was going through a lot. The cover of the album, no makeup, and showed all the bruises on her, just the real natural appearance, I'll say it that way, that she had. And so it was just her, revealing her life. And that's a playthrough album right there.
It is. I got to meet her once. She was very nice.
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah. I saw her in concert years ago. When she did the Jay-Z, Jay-Z at the Hollywood Bowl, which was awesome.
Yes. Oh, yeah. She's a very sweet person. What does Mark Todd do to relax?
Oh wow, relax.
What's that?
Man, no. I was thinking, because I still play baseball. Like I still play on in a Sunday league for adults.
Oh, really?
And, you know, not that it's all that relaxing, because in my older age, I'm dealing with ailments. I got a wrist injury. I'm trying to nurse. I got
his older age.
some
Like, okay,
oh,
sure.
I don't know that that's relaxing.
Yes.
You know, but I there's so many things I enjoy doing. I like to read. And,
Okay.
you know, yeah, I like to read, and it's funny. I like reading. I've been really deep into these like nutrition books now, like a nerd. One of my friends gifted me a book called The Longevity Paradox, which is a book where this he's a cardiac surgeon.
Oh, wow.
And he said, I'm going to write this book and really teach people the benefits of, you know, what they need to be eating and just gut health, he calls it, gut health, and how that can solve a lot of the problems that you may have and ailments you may have and things like that you think you're predisposed to genetically. But in his studies, he says that, you know what, it's about what you eat.
Yeah.
So I've been, you know, reading stuff like that, kind of nerdy, but and I get on all my friends. I'm like, man, you need to get this book. You need to get this book. And, you know, they ignore me.
Nerds are in right now. It's okay. Nerds are in. They weren't always in before. They're in now. So you're in the in crowd now. I love it. Thank you, Mark Todd, for your time and for I mean, in all seriousness, it's for me to see us two brown men who are working and doing the best work we can do. Warms my heart. It really does. This was a very great experience. So thank you, Mark Todd. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James, and really appreciate this opportunity again. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes, and I'll tell people if they want to come to Greenspan or come to you, where can they find you?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can email me directly. My email address is mtodd@greenspan.com, or call me on my cell phone, 818-605-9886. So got no problem with giving my cell phone number to this community. So it's anything you need. I mean, you know, like I said, I'm involved with USC. I do mentorship there. I do speak on panels there with their risk management program, and so I love giving back. I mean, I love philanthropy, and here's another thing too. We're actually looking for a charity to kind of sponsor within Los Angeles, really. So if there's anyone who has any charities that they'd like to nominate, then please, reach out to me and we'll kind of show you what needs to be done. So.
Okay, very good. This is IIABCal Voices. You can check us out on every streaming service platform you can think of in terms of audio. That's iHeartRadio to Spotify to Google to Apple. We're there under IIABCal Voices. Oh my God, how many letters? And then on YouTube, on my network, JLJ Media, you can find this interview and all the others from other great insurance professionals on JLJ Media, youtube.com//JLJ Media. Go while you're there. Hit follow, hit that follow button. Subscribe, be kind, rewind. I don't know, whatever. Just follow along. Support the homie. But thank you so much for watching or listening to this program. I love doing these interviews, giving you a glimpse of the insurance industry people behind the scenes, what they're doing for you out there that serve their communities. And we will see you all the next time. Thank you very much.